Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Anti-Myelin Society podcast. We are
POCs with disabilities.
And in our podcast, we'll explore various topics related to living with multiple sclerosis, which is commonly referred to as MS. And in our discussions, we'll cover building a career, navigating MS as a parent, mental health, dealing with symptoms, and more.
We aim to share insights and stories that resonate with everyone, regardless of your relationship or knowledge of MS. We hope you stay with us to support, listen, understand, and have a great time.
Yes, so stay tuned to the show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Anti-Myelin Society podcast with your girls Jojo and Taty. The POCs with disabilities. How's everybody doing today?
Hi, everyone. This is Jojo, and I'm excited to be here with Taty. We've been talking about starting this podcast for a while, and we're finally doing it. Yay.
What's up?
So yeah, we're two women who are in different communities. So I'm in the Latino community.
And I'm in the African-American / Black community.
Yeah, so we wanted to start a podcast for regular people, to be a little bit more relatable to you all and talk about what it's like to experience life with multiple sclerosis.
Tragic. Life with multiple sclerosis. Tragic.
Not tragic. Well, to start with our podcast, I think we should start with, because I have these cards called Moments of Gratitude. So let's start with some moments of gratitude. So the first one, it's think of a moment this week where you felt gratitude. What sparked that feeling?
I have to say gardening. Yeah.
Okay. What are you working on now?
My mom just gave me ground covered roses because I was going to take it anyway. So she gave it to me.
What color are they?
They're white. So it kind of gives like a different feel because I have a deep blood red outside and I have whites.
What about purple?
I have purple.
I see. Well, for me to answer this question would be as a team lead at work, we have to have meetings once a week. And this week or last week, whatever week, I decided to have a little breakout session with like 5 people. And we just talked about like just moments of gratitude, things we appreciate, who is your support system, just topics like that. And it just gave me gratitude and it gave them gratitude. They really appreciated that. So that was amazing to give them that opportunity to just decompress because, all they do is listen or talk on the phone all day for work. For me to give that to them, it was nice.
Yeah. I think remembering those little moments brings it back full circle of life because we'd be like so stuck in our routine that you forget to just stop and be grateful for what you do have.
Yes. It was really nice. And we're almost close to the end of the bid because we have like different bids. How do I explain this for someone who doesn't work with?
I've literally no idea what you're talking about. Yeah. Is that like for your time off?
We change teams like every 4 to 5 months.
Why?
I don't know. But we're about to approach the end of the bid. And one of them, who used to be very quiet, she really just broke out her shell. And she's super funny. And I was like, okay, I love it.
Don't you love quiet people who are like that? We have a girl like that at my job. And she's so funny because she's so quiet. Like you wouldn't think.
She was funny. Yes. But to start off our podcast, we're going to ask each other questions, kind of, how we got diagnosed, how it all started. So I'm going to let Taty ask the questions first, and we'll go from there.
It's so funny because I know your story, but I love to hear it again. I don't know why I do. So, Jojo, what is your diagnosed story? How did you first get diagnosed, and what was your first symptoms, or what alerted you to go seek professional help? Because we all are Google doctors. We love to ask Google what the symptom is. But what made you go to seek an actual professional?
So what started my diagnosis story was basically before my role right now, I was in a different role. However, I noticed that I was seeing double. And at first it was subtle because I was super busy with, my master's program and working full time and then just taking care of my dog and whatnot and taking care of everything else. At first, I wasn't paying attention, but I noticed it subtly. And then at one point, somebody was like, hey, check this out on my phone. And I was like, why am I seeing double? And that's when it really became crystal clear that I'm seeing double and it's more pronounced. So I went to the eye doctor and I was thinking it was something related to my prescription because I just went there and got my eyes checked. And the eye doctor was like, no, it's something medical. And I was like, medical in what way? And this is before multiple sclerosis came into the picture. This was me just confused. Why am I seeing double? Why is he telling me it could be anything from COVID to high blood pressure to whatever? So, of course, he doesn't know yet, but he referred me to the neuro-ophthalmologist. For those of you who do not know, that's basically the neurologist for the eyes. He referred me to do the MRI, and he was the one who introduced multiple sclerosis. And for our listeners, I was diagnosed 2 years, but Tati was diagnosed, what, like almost 8 years? So
Yeah.
I knew Tati. And I remember when he brought it up, he was like, have you ever heard of multiple sclerosis? And I was like, yes, but nothing pertaining to me. Like I got very defensive. And you could see his body language that he could tell that I got defensive. And he was like, it's okay. We're going to have to do a little bit more testing. And I was like, okay. Because in my mind, I was like, we have to do like 100 more testing before you confirm anything. But long story short, he referred me to the neurologist, and the neurologist, he was like, I bet you researched and Googled so many things about multiple sclerosis, but again to you. But in my mind, I didn't have it. So he's like, you must have researched all of this stuff. And I was like, no.
Step one, denial.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's definitely denial. And he even gave me all these booklets of all the different treatments. And I took it home, still not thinking I have MS. And then I remember when they messaged me, because, we have that app where they communicate with us. They were like, hey, the doctor wants to start you on treatment right away. And I was like, treatment for what?
Still in complete and absolute denial.
Still in denial. And I was like, how did you guys come up with this diagnosis? Why do you want to start me on treatment? You still don't know what I have. We didn't do my lumbar puncture. We didn't do this. We didn't do that. But apparently my MRI, it lit up like a Christmas tree. All the
Lesion.
the white spots were in the classic areas for people with MS. Still didn't believe them.
Right.
Still didn't. Then that's when I started Googling and researching MS and different symptoms. And the one symptom that really got me to believe I had it was electric shock. And that's when I was like, dang, I have MS.
Not the multiple professionals that like, yeah, you have MS. They're just
No.
like, I need a receipt. I need to know
Yeah.
how you came back to the Asian, the high confidence, the testing. Like, I don't believe it. I need someone to check over your work because I don't believe you.
I didn't want it. I didn't want to believe it. It was
It's
just,
like you're like, I don't want it.
I don't want it.
Like it's
It
some
was a
kind of.
product. I would just return it. Like, I would keep the receipt, be like, here, take it. Take it.
Okay.
Return it. You don't even have to give me my money back. Just take it. Yeah. So, yeah, that's my diagnosis story. And I'm sticking to it.
It's full of denial. Your story.
A lot of,
Okay, well, you kind of already mentioned it, what tests they did, and then they did an MRI for you, and you had, I like to call them a bunch of bright ideas when it comes out like that. And then the symptoms you were experiencing, of course, you had your shock, which ultimately shocked you into reality that you had MS. So what medications or treatments or therapies have you has helped, or what have you started? Because I know since you're being only a 10-year newbie, I think you only have like one.
Okay, don't be bragging.
not bragging, I'm just saying you only had one medication.
You're a seasoned veteran of MS. My bad.
Yep. You're still in your 90 days.
I passed my 90 days.
You haven't had all your benefits yet.
I have my benefit. Trust me. FMLA, I got all my benefits.
Okay. Mine's still expired. Let's not. I don't go here.
So the treatment they started me on was Briumvi. According to them, it's like Ocrevus 2.0. That's what they said. Because in the beginning, they told me I was going to be on Ocrevus. And when I did all my research, I was like, a lot of people are saying that you get brain fog a month before the next treatment. And they're like, well, we're hoping you won't get that with Briumvi. We think Briumvi's Ocrevus 2.0. So we're hoping you're not going to get those same symptoms that Ocrevus is giving, and yada, yada. So that's why they said that.
So we're going to stick a pin in that because since you said that, because no one told me that at all. That explains so much.
That was because I did research. And that's what
For those of you who are listening, you'll notice as you keep listening, hopefully you subscribe. Jojo is a researcher. I'm okay kind of person. I'm the person that Googles something and like the first thing at the top, I'm like, yeah, that's it. Believe me, whatever Wikipedia is. But I've learned to do .org, .edu. Yeah, so I've learned, but yeah, no, I didn't do no kind of research at all. I just know you only have to do it a couple.
Well, for our listeners, I am a researcher. I just finished my master's in industrial organizational psychology. So not to just put that out there, but that's all I did for school mostly is research and write, or read, research and write. So researching is in my blood. So a lot of my research came from scientific articles, Google, and TikTok University.
Period for TikTok University because I'll be on there too.
And so I wanted to get not just the quantitative analysis, but the qualitative, what are people experiences with Ocrevus? What are people experiences with MS? So that was a lot of my research where it came from, because it does matter. People's experiences, what they say, what they're dealing with, that data does matter. It does. Right. So yeah, so that's what they were saying to me. So far it's just Briumvi, which I get infusion injections once every 6 months, and now I'm used to it.
So you don't have any other medications or vitamins or
yeah. Okay.
CVS pharmacy, Publix pharmacy, Sam's Club pharmacy.
On the dosages?
No, I don't want that. That's fine.
So I do take Vitrin C, which is basically vitamin C and iron. I am anemic, and that's part of the reason why I experience some fatigue. I take, what else do I take? I take this one drug. I don't remember what it's called. I know the generic name. I don't know the actual drug name, but it helps with my fatigue, supposedly. It's like drinking 2 cups of coffee or 3 or 4, however many.
So it's to combat fatigue.
Uh-huh. But it's not, no. Because remember, I told you that it didn't have no effect on me?
All right.
Yes. But the new one does.
Well, wait, you might have to send that to me because Madame over there doing a bunch of reading so I pop into click.
Why didn't you tell the neurologist? Because they have a whole bunch. Okay. Well, I like to be in communication with a neurologist, especially with my medication. So I'm going to need you to start. All right. So I also take that. I also take iron pills that I'm low, that I don't have anymore, but I just talked to them recently. They said they want to look at my blood work before they give me more. So that's on hold. I also take anti-anxiety medicine, well, antidepressants, I mean. And that was because when I was diagnosed with MS, I learned that the suicide rates for people with MS were higher than the general population. And that's when I was like, I need to get my mental health in check. And I was already struggling with anxiety and a little bit of depression. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to be stressed or feel sad with it. I want to learn to cope with it and live a thriving life. So I do take the antidepressants. which for those who do not take any medication like that, it doesn't affect my mind. It doesn't affect who I am. I'm still me. It just calms my mind, which is great because I just feel calm. I just feel like I'm just going with the flow and I'm just enjoying the moment. So if you're ever thinking about if you're possibly thinking about taking any antidepressants, don't be afraid. They don't alter your mind. They don't change who you are. They just calm your mind.
You have to be careful because you have to find the one that best fits you. Because I was on one,
Yeah.
and it made me like angry. Like I didn't have any other emotion but anger. I don't know if it's because I was like irritated easily or what, but when I started taking it, like everything. What were you taking? No, this was back in like 2015.
Okay.
And when I stopped taking it, I was like, okay. And I knew something was wrong because I was like yelling at my grandma.
You yelling at your grandma.
Like something's wrong. Like I'm never upset with you, lady. Like I woke up from a nap and I was like teenage antics. Yeah, like I hit your
Oh my gosh.
but that's how like angry I was for like literally no reason.
That was only when you were taking the medication?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I would just suggest talk to your psychiatrist and just work with them. Yes. But I love my medication because it just calms me.
I love mine now. The one that I have now is perfect. But just find the one that works for you.
Yes. I agree with that.
Do you have a personal philosophy that has helped you cope with having a chronic illness?
My go-to is just take everything day by day, but I also love to just tell people, just lean on your support. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to be not okay. It's okay to just feel vulnerable, frustrated. Lean on your support. We all have things going on. Trust me. You probably think the person who has it together probably doesn't. They just hide it better, right? So definitely lean on your support. I'm big on community. I'm big on just leaning on others and others leaning back, right?
That's what's up. So I'm going to derail from the questions I already posted. How would you explain imagine multiple sclerosis to someone who's never heard of it? Because obviously when you were diagnosed, like me, you didn't know a lot about it. I know I was completely ignorant to it. So how would you explain it to someone who's like, MS, what is that?
Someone just asked me actually, and I was basically, long story short, it's an autoimmune disease where, you know, how we have neurons, our brain sends signals, how it communicates to the rest of our body. So how I'm lifting my arm, how I'm thinking, how I'm speaking, how I'm seeing. Our brain is sending signals, right? So our neurons have myelin, this little fatty protective layer that we call the myelin sheath. So basically, with most autoimmunes, it's the immune system attacking itself. So the immune system is eating away at the myelin. And because of that, it disrupts the flow of communication. So it's basically damaging it and it just affects everything and anything. So our emotional, our cognitive, and our physical, it affects anything you could think of. MS could affect it. There's no cure, allegedly.
Right. Allegedly.
Allegedly, there's no cure. Did you see my post about how scientists created a new color? They created a new color, and I'm like, not them creating a brand new color and not curing MS or any other incurable diseases. But
It was a thing I saw, and I don't even think it's real. I didn't even check to see if it was real, but apparently they invented a flower that uses the sun like a solar panel to create fuel. That just sounds like a whole bunch of hoopla, but I'm like, they're bringing back animals that's been instinct for instinct.
but they can't, you know, cure the things that people are struggling now.
And which is why we say allegedly there's no cure.
Yeah.
Because, you know, everyone knows you make more money treating than
It's keeping us sick. Yes. Well, that's how I would describe it. There's more scientific ways that you could describe it, such as talking a B and the T cell, and that gets a little bit more complex. Yeah, talking it a bit. But yeah, there's a more scientific way to explain it. But that would be my little summary of it. Long story short, it's an autoimmune disease of the immune system attacking the myelin, and that basically disrupts the flow of communication between the brain and the rest of the body. Yep.
Great.
Yep.
What advice would you give someone who's recently been diagnosed? Breathe.
Number one, breathe. It's going to be overwhelming. I was overwhelmed. I don't know how you reacted to it, but I was very overwhelmed when I finally accepted it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because in the denial phase, I was like, whatever, what the heck is going on with me? I don't know, but I don't have MS. That's what I was thinking.
Was your acceptance before or after the boot?
After the what?
The boot.
I don't remember.
Okay.
No, I think that was after the boom. Because remember, I was asking you all those 50 million questions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So for our listeners, when I got diagnosed, I invited Tati for lunch and we went to Korean barbecue. And, sometimes the waiters would help you cook the meat, but we were talking about MS and having this serious conversation. And our waiter just kept coming in at the most serious moments. And it was like, I wouldn't say awkward, but it was awkward.
It was awkward, and I felt like he was judging them. He's like, what the hell are they talking about? And I'm like, you could have pulled up a chair and like listen in because you kept coming back.
Yeah. Yeah. Because weren't we doing it?
We were doing it just fine.
Cooking the meat. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would just say breathe. Again, lean on your support. My way of handling it was trying to keep it to myself. It wasn't a year until I started telling everybody. I mean, I told you because you have MS. I told my mom, of course, but nobody else knew. I mean, you do it how you feel comfortable. And once you start telling people, I mean, that's your right to disclose. But I would just say, on those who you could trust, have those people there who you could speak to. I hate that we have MS, but fortunately, I have someone who's already experienced it. So it's definitely great to have this community that we have. And then TikTok University. You'll definitely find a community of people with MS on TikTok, and they share their experiences. And I learned a lot.
They have the best dark humor.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
It's a nice little club.
Yes. Yes. Do you want me to start asking you, or do you have any more questions?
I would ask this last one. What is the worst thing about having a chronic illness? And then also with being diagnosed and having this new path in life, what have you learned so far?
What was that last question?
With being diagnosed, because we all have a plan for our future, and of course being diagnosed with anything, it disrupts what your possible plans are. So with being diagnosed, what have you learned, or what has it taught you, and how do you overcome because you're at a point in life, right? Challenges, but sometimes you get a point in life like we're just like, well, now I can't do what I have planned because the illness is so questionable.
So the first question was, what's the worst thing about having MS? I would say the fact that most of our symptoms are invisible, and you want people to know what you're going through, but they just don't see it. And I feel like I'm being annoying sometimes, or I'm a burden, which I don't like that feeling. I bet in their mind they're like, so tired of hearing this girl talk about MS, and it's like, how do you think I feel? And I'm experiencing all this, and I'm trying to keep quiet, but you're asking me, hey, how are you doing? You want me to tell you a lie? Everything's perfect. No. I'm experiencing vertigo. I'm experiencing whatever. I'm hot. I feel like I'm about to pass out. But to you, I look like I'm okay. But in reality, no, I'm going through whatever I'm going through. And the second part, I feel like you and we had different perspectives about having children. So before I had MS, I was already on the fence about having children. I love kids and I love babies, but they're a huge responsibility. And I want to feel secure. I want to be married. I want to have security if I do have children. So after MS, one of the first questions was, can you still have babies? But I was like, wait a minute, Tati has a kid. So yes, she can. But it was more of a, ugh, do I want kids now? Because it's already a lot being a mother. And I know it's a lot being a mother with an autoimmune. I mean, you make it look so easy, but I know it's there, you have your challenging moments. And it's like, do I want to go through that? That would be one thing. The second one was, well, what about my career? That's always in the back of my mind. I don't want to be seen as a liability. I don't want to be seen as incompetent. I don't want to seem like I'm just not good enough because of my illness. So in the beginning, I was trying to keep it a secret because of those stigmas or because of those feelings that I had. The longer I was keeping them a secret, the more it was getting harder to hide them, especially when I was not feeling my best. So I finally just disclosed to the people at work that I had MS, and they embraced me. They all made me feel like, hey, I'm here for you. And that was a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting all that support. And then I remember doing a whole, we call them time for understanding at work, but it was basically me talking about my experience with MS. And I just shared my story with almost the whole building at my job. And just having that support and just having the ear and still feeling supported at work and then being promoted to a team lead. Just now I don't have that fear of building on my career anymore because I feel like I'm at the right company who is there to support me, to help me overcome those challenges. So I have a great amount of support.
That's awesome.
Yes. Yes.
Total 180 from what I dealt with ever.
I would just say make sure you're at the right company and around the right people. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now it's my turn to ask you, Tati.
Dun, dun, dun.
Start from the beginning. What's your diagnosis story? When were you diagnosed? How did it happen? How was your denial phase, your acceptance phase, all of that?
I don't even know if I had a denial or acceptance phase. The whole phase was just confusion. Like just pure confusion. Working at a hardware store at the time. And I remember taking a nap and I woke up from my nap and I couldn't see clearly out of my right eye. And I'm like, that's weird, but probably because I don't wear my glasses ever. So I'm like, maybe it's just that, whatever. So time went by and it progressively got worse. So I went to an eye doctor. I remember her name. Her name was Miss Birdsong or Dr. Birdsong. She was so sweet. And she did the eye exam and everything. And I thought I was killing it. And I should know something was wrong when it wasn't your original eye exam. Because you have like the letters or like numbers. I thought they switched it to furniture. I was like, oh my God, I gotta change it to like where it's scenery. That's so cool. But I'm just like, oh yeah, I see a couch and a door and a window. And she's like, okay, yeah. So we're gonna switch eyes and I'm not gonna switch the picture. I was like, okay. I mean, I killed that. I'm not worried about it. It was letters and numbers. I don't even know where the colors came from. She was like, yeah, so you're going to have to see a doctor, like a neurologist, somebody that is more professional in what was going on behind my eye, not my vision. So fast forward, it just turned out I had optic neuritis, which turned into me going to the hospital for 3 days to get steroid drips done, which was annoying because after I was done, I couldn't eat or drink anything because everything tastes like.
To the hospital though?
Yeah, the hospital at the time before it became Emory was like a multiple stage hospital. Although it was a hospital, it had different offices and buildings and stuff. I actually still have pictures of what level I was on. Don't ask me what it is. I don't know. I have to get a picture. And they connected me with the neurologist who was in the next building. And she told me, she was like, so we got your eye back. You have a few lesions. I think at that time I only had 3. So she said you either have lupus, cancer, or multiple sclerosis. At that time, I only knew what one of those things meant. And she's like, what I don't want you to do is go home and Google illnesses. And I'm like,
I mean, what was she expecting?
she just told me I had one of the three things.
If it was the tables were turned, she probably did the same thing.
Right. And I was like, she's like, because people panic and everything. So me being a badass, I didn't listen and I went and Googled everything. And she's like, we're going to also schedule for a lumbar tap. I was like, okay, what is that? It's where they stick and you have to lie completely still on your stomach and they stick a long needle in your back to get the fluid from your spine. I just want to say during that whole time, I heard a lot of medical jargons and situations. Never heard of a day in my life. So I remember that very clearly. That was leading up to the actual procedure. Horrible. After procedure, horrible. Procedure itself, perfectly fine. Doctor was awesome.
So what happened leading and all that? We need description. I want to visualize it.
So they told me, they were like, don't eat anything the night before or the day before or the morning before you come in. Okay, cool. So then they're like, oh yeah, get some blood. I was like, all right. And the lady taking my blood, she's like, your blood's coming out slow. And I'm like, well, I haven't eaten for like 12 hours. She's like, oh yeah. I mean, it's still just, we're coming out slow. I'm like, honey, what do you want me to do? Just make more? I'm hungry. Leave me alone. So then, of course, I had family there. So I went into the bathroom and like changed into the little dress.
The little gown.
Yeah, the gown with your butt open. Yeah.
Yeah.
At this time, I didn't realize the nurses were watching me because they also were like, oh, we have to make sure you're not pregnant. And I'm like, I'm not. And we have to make sure. So they wanted me to pee. Again, not drink, did not eat anything. So I'm really low on urine. So when I went to the bathroom to change, they thought I was hiding my pee. And they didn't tell me that for like a whole 30 minutes to an hour. So we were just all waiting. And they're like, well, we need you to pee. And I was like, so there's like no other way you can confirm that I'm not pregnant. Well, we could take your blood. You just did that. So I'm just confused on what you did with that blood if you did not run the test. She said, okay, let's run the test. So finally they're like, okay, so you're not pregnant. I knew that. I knew I wasn't. You guys were the only ones that were asking. And so I went for the procedure. The doctor was really nice. It was such a cool, and I don't mean like nice or interesting sensation. Like literally with them taking fluid out of your spine, it was cold. It was so cold and it was so weird. And then you have to lay down.
Hold up. So you never watched like hospital shows, like House or anything? Oh, okay. Because they would do lumbar punctures all the time. But okay.
Yeah, I never
Watch you.
I watch them now that I'm diagnosed with it, everything, but I did never watch it. It just seemed like sad shows. I don't know why people want to watch doctor shows. But they were like, so you have to lay on your back for like 4 hours for your spine to regenerate the fluid.
You said you had to lay on your back for how long?
4 hours. It might have been less time, but it felt like 4 hours. I just know I was there all damn day. And when I got out, I wanted the fattest burger. So fast forward to where I get officially diagnosed with MS. I checked my grandma because she's my bestie. And they were like, so you have MS. I remember her talking to me about it. And she kind of just like, I couldn't hear her while she was explaining it when she was like, you have it, multiple sclerosis. Because even though I Googled it, first off, when I Googled it, and I want to be very clear, this was back in 2017. When I Googled it, multiple sclerosis, it said multiple sclerosis is predominantly found in older Caucasian women between the ages of like 35 and 65, which has drastically changed now where it's not specific for who is diagnosed. So I was just confused because I'm not an older white woman. I was in my 20s during that time, so I'm just confused on where this came from. And they told me it's not genetic. There's no way for us to know how you got it. And I'm like, okay. So then me and my grandma went to go hit breakfast. And then I had to make several phone calls about treatment and what I like and all this stuff. And this just became a blur. And now it's just everyday life. And that's my diagnosis story. I just want to add in there because some of the listeners may be friends. The people I worked with at that hardware store did make fun of me when I had to wear an eye patch. Not going to name who, but he knows.
Oh, we had a name drop.
Josh
Wow.
made fun of me for having an eye patch during the
Wow, Josh. Wait till you come on the podcast. I'm gonna have a few words. I didn't realize, so you said that it changed? The demographic changed? Since when?
When I first Googled and maybe because like when you Google multiple sclerosis, like the first thing that came up was, who is it, Jack Alford? Who has,
I don't know.
I think one of the Osmonds had and then it populated to wheelchairs and like walking assistants. And then it said predominantly older white women because.
But you're saying it changed.
Is it the same?
I think it does.
Well, never mind. I guess it still says older white women. But we're
And actually, let me see. Demographic. So, it says people of all races, but it does still show that white individuals have the highest prevalence. It says Black individuals have higher prevalence than the Hispanic and Latinx, Asian and Pacific Islanders, and Hispanic and Asian have the lowest prevalence. So y'all coming up there.
Thank you.
And then it says women are more significant than men. And then the onset ages are between 20 to 40. So back to the question. So you did explain the test that you received, the spinal tap, the MRI, the blood work. I'm reading your answers right here. But anywho, what was your reaction? Did you discuss that? Yeah, you did. Basically, you Googled everything. So what sorts of symptoms have you experienced with MS? Oh, you didn't ask me that, but it's okay. What are your main symptoms that you experience with MS?
Chronic fatigue, brain fog, cognitive issues, and the shock you were talking about. I know you talked about your shock was in your body. Mine's in my brain. Like I can feel it still straight back in my brain.
I find that so interesting.
I'm cold intolerant, so while you're sitting over there hot, I'm over here freezing with a blanket and a heater on.
Yeah, so we're opposites. She has cold intolerance. I have heat intolerance. I don't like the summers because that's when I have most of my symptoms. I was feeling a little lightheaded driving up here because it was hot.
You did say the sun was sunning.
The sun was sunning.
See, I love summer. I thrive in the sun at any moment's grace. I'm trying to get out in the sun. Now, I can't be out there long because I will get dizzy and faint.
So you do have heat intolerance.
Yeah, but I think that's for anybody if you're out in the heat for a really long period of time.
No.
I think so.
Because, I mean, if I have before MS, a beach day, I would be out there all day.
Well, maybe I do have a little bit of heat intolerance, but I will tell you, I'm not good in the cold. The winter is my worst enemy.
Yeah, I don't like the cold.
Down and cry, put me out somewhere in the cold.
But nothing to do with my MS. I just don't like the cold.
That has everything to do with my MS. I'm in pain in the cold.
Well, since Tati forgot to bring up my symptoms, yeah, I would just say that I do experience fatigue, brain fog. Let's see. I do experience vertigo, migraines, muscle spasms. I did have double vision that started my diagnosis. There were plenty of others, but those are like the main ones that I could think of right now. But next question, Tati, what medication, treatments, or therapies have you had and helped the most? Don't bring up dosages.
I wasn't because I don't know. I still don't know. So when I was first diagnosed, I was on a 2-pill-a-day Tecfidera. That was the funniest medication that I had to get used to because I was someone that didn't eat breakfast in the morning. Like I might have like a granola bar or eat like peanuts or something. And with that medication, you had to eat or else you would get symptoms of the medication because it was like little beads inside a pill capsule.
So you're basically saying you weren't eating?
I mean, I wasn't eating a lot. Like when I was working at the hardware store, I had to be there like 6 a.m. Who eats at 6 in the morning? It was crazy. I'm so sleepy. I don't even talk to people till 8. So the first time I realized it was causing a symptom, and I forgot what it was called, but when the capsules and little beads release, now I'm black. When I tell you my face was bloodshot red and I was scratching, like I was like itching, and my coworker was like, "Todd, you okay?" I was like, "Bro, I am itchy. Like I don't understand what's happening." And I called my doctor, and they were like, "What do you eat?" And I was like a biscuit or maybe some cereal, like a handful of cereal. They're like, "Oh no, you're gonna have to eat like a meal when you take that, because when it releases, it's gonna go all over your body. You'll feel it." And I was like, "Oh, so it had took me a while to get used to like eating in the morning and then taking this pill. So I had to take the pill in the morning and then take it at night. Yeah, at night I wouldn't really eat either, but I'd be asleep when the symptoms happened, so I wasn't really worried about
Did they not explain that when they were giving you the medication?
it. They probably did. I wasn't listening.
I was going to say, was it on the bottle?
It was probably, I wasn't gonna read it. I just make sure my name was on it and my address. I'm not the best person when it comes to medication. I try to read like the diet. I just knew it's 2 pills, one in the morning, one at night. My name was on it. And like when I was talking to the nurse on the phone, she was probably telling me about it. I was like, yeah, uh-huh. I was probably watching a while now. Wasn't really paying attention. That's on me. But, the second, medication I was on, because being on that, it wasn't slowing down the progression of the lesions. I went from 3 to 6. I went to 3 to 6, but they, like the ones that were there before were dormant. I just had new ones, which was weird. So then I went to Sabri, which was a monthly infusion. That was on for like maybe 2 years. And then like that last year I was done, because where it is and where we live, I hated going there every time. I hated it. I didn't want to go. I refused to go. Where I live, it's like a 45-minute drive, but with traffic, it turned into like 3 hours. So for a year, I wasn't on any medication. So of course, lesions got worse. I had kicked it up to 9 lesions, one being close to my little spinal cord back here. And my doctor was like, yeah, you can't skip any more treatment because it's damaging. I was like, okay. So now I'm on all of this, which thankfully is once every 6 months, which works great for me. I can go every 6 months. But since you told me that thing about the brain fog, now it makes sense why I'm walking around my kitchen wondering where my tissue is to blow my nose. Because it's definitely not in the kitchen. It's in my bathroom. And then when I get to the bathroom, I forget why I'm in there. Thank you for that insight. And then, of course, I'm on like vitamins and antidepressant, anti-anxiety, and things to help cope with the fatigue, which hardly works. And they will not go up my dosage because it is a controlled substance. I tried.
I feel the same way when they gave me the Modiaf, how you say?
Modafinil?
Yeah, that one. When it didn't do nothing, and I was like, I still don't want a higher dosage because it took a while for me to get that. So for me to go through all those hoops, I was like, yeah, no, put me on something else. That's a low dosage.
But you know what's crazy? I go through more obstacles getting Claritin G than to get modafinil.
I'm dead. All right. The next question. What is your personal philosophy that helped you cope with your chronic illness? And I love the one that you said, but I don't know if it changed.
It hasn't.
Okay.
Because every year I tell God, you could take me off the list.
The strongest warriors.
Strongest warriors, the toughest battles. Yeah, you could take me off the list. It's fine. I can skip a year of being a strong warrior.
Take me off that subscription, please.
I did not resubscribe to this.
Actually, try to unsubscribe. You're still sending me emails.
If anything, you're just doubling up on the payments.
All right. What advice would you give someone who was recently diagnosed?
Paper, it sounds worse than what it is. Because I feel like when you read it, it sounds like, oh my God, what is that? That's too much. Still living your life and being who you are. It's not as detrimental as it sounds on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, I learned when I was first diagnosed. I was like, oh, I have autoimmune disease. People are like, oh, you're contagious? So I don't even say disease anymore. I just say illness. They're like, oh, you're sick. Sure. We'll go with that.
I mean, we are.
I mean, and you know what used to like drive me insane when I was first diagnosed? I was telling people, and I was like, oh, it's for the rest of my life. And they're like, oh, I hope you feel better soon.
That's because they don't know, and that's why we got to continue to bring
I
awareness.
would explain it to them. I'd be like, it's a chronic illness. It's got diagnosed. Yes, for the rest
There's
of my
no
life.
cure.
I may progressively get worse over time. It depends on medication. There's no care. And they're like, oh, well, I hope you feel better. Get well soon. I'm like, yep. I hope so too. You just heard wah, 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 wah.
I feel like they mean well, but they just don't know exactly what to say.
They don't.
Exactly. So that's why I feel like, when we educate people like podcasts or people on TikTok University or how I did it at work, just educating people of like what we rather hear versus you'll be okay.
Blurt out. There's another one that annoyed me was, well, at least it's not cancer.
Mine was, you're going to be okay. How do you know that?
Or my neighbor's sister's brother's best friend's goldfish owner, they had MS and they're good. They do like Pilates every day.
My fish has MS and they're still swimming.
Yeah. Or they're like, oh, my great nephew's uncle, he died of that like 3 years ago. Yeah, they just died. I was like, thank you.
Okay.
Right.
My condolences.
My favorite one is when a guy was trying to hit on me. And I was like, oh, I have multiple sclerosis. He's like, your back look good though.
Scoliosis.
I just had to laugh and walk away. I'm like, I love it.
They just don't know. All right. What would you say is the worst thing about having a chronic illness?
Pretty much what you said. It's invisible. People don't really understand or don't get it. And you kind of feel like gaslit in a way because it's like, you're too young to be that tired. Or you're too young to have a cane. Or you didn't have that cane yesterday. Why you do today?
You're too young to be sick.
Right. They're like, oh, my favorite. I thought that was only for white women. Okay, well, clearly. So you kind of feel like you can't tell people how you really feel, like you were saying. People were like, how are you? Would you lie? Pretty much. I lied just so we don't have to get into the, man, this sucks.
Or them thinking you're just trying to get attention. Like, no, this is what I'm going through.
Or like the ones that are like, man, you look really tired. I'm like, yeah. And I had 12 hours of sleep. Can you believe it? Chronic fatigue.
The other day, I think I slept for like 12 hours and I still felt like a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
That's because I stopped taking my medicine. But anyways, next question.
Just bypass that little insert.
Any last thoughts or things you want others to be more aware of?
To be aware that I might look good today won't mean that I'll be good tomorrow.
Or within the next hour.
No, I'll tell you.
Literally.
Please respect the fact. Well, I tell my friends all the time, I love that people invite me to stuff, even though sometimes I might not go. Just because I do try to muster up the energy to go. I try to take naps. I try to just on medication so I have enough energy. And when I don't come, it's not held against me. So I always appreciate the invitation, even though I may not come. Because it might be off chance I might come. I might show up. I might fall asleep on your couch, but I always appreciate the invitation.
If it's my invite, you have to come.
Yeah, there's some people I'm not allowed to this. Bullying at this point.
You're going to muster it up. Okay, you're going to come. Well, thank you, listeners, for being there throughout the whole episode. So the beginning
here, you are awesome. And you came to really be educated and maybe somebody who just found out they were recently diagnosed or someone who's been diagnosed that you really haven't found someone to truly connect with. Hopefully we were able to connect with a few of you. And hopefully this podcast will connect to those, especially in the POC community. And we could just kind of sit back, relax, and chill and talk.
So we originally started this podcast. I wanted to do a little segment. So we did start with the moments of gratitude, but originally I wanted to read what is this, best self card. And I didn't realize it was in Spanish. And Tati was like, that's okay. I want to learn Spanish. So we're going to end it with best self questions in Español. So the first one is, ¿Qué persona famosa has conocido?
You're going to have to translate it because you're just looking at me like a deer in headlights. Yeah?
Do you know a famous person?
Personally?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot his name, but my dad, we went down to Newberry, Florida, and shout out to Newberry, the Berry, a football player down there, well known by the community. And I think that's one thing I like about Newberry. They pumped out some NFL players and like legends, and they still come around and support the kids in the school. And it's so humbling and so nice that they're not like big headed or like feel like they're too good to talk. He gave me a piece of gum. I'm so sorry to that man. I don't remember his name, but it's not because I don't want to remember. It's just because it's lost in my brain somewhere and I'm going to think about it at 3:00 in the morning. But I met him. But as far as a personal note, I don't know anybody famous. But I did run into a couple of famous people before. I met Shaq. He's really freaking tall. Yeah.
Well, I don't know any famous people personally, but that's all we have for this episode. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today for another episode. We hope you found our discussion insightful and useful.
Please be sure to like, subscribe, leave comments, and share with your closest friends and family. Be sure to follow us on all streaming platforms as well as social media, X, aka Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Anti-Myelin Society, as well as give us an email if you have any questions, comments, and or concerns at antimyelin@gmail.com. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey,